It's good to see you again in VNA News. I'm Vinh Hằng from Hanoi with the major stories. Traditional festivals take place nationwide at the outset of Lunar New Year. Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement gives impetus to Vietnam's economy. Ho Chi Minh City expects to serve 5.1 million foreign visitors this year. A host of traditional festivals kicked off in different provinces on February 13th, the 6th day of the Lunar New Year. Let's join us to take a glance at these festivals. In the Red River Delta province of Ninh Bình, the Bai Ding Pagoda Festival began in Gia Viễn district in the presence of thousands of Buddhist followers and visitors. Secretary of the Provincial Party Committee Nguyễn Thị Thanh said Ninh Bình is home to a number of relics attached to the development of Buddhism in Vietnam, including Bai Ding Pagoda, built in the late 10th century, where an array of significant historical events took place. Deputy Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc and Finance Minister Đinh Tiến Dũng beat the ceremonial drum and gong to open the festival, which will last through the third lunar month. Bai Ding Pagoda is part of the Chang'an Landscape Complex, a World Culture and Natural Heritage Site recognized by UNESCO. The pagoda itself is a complex of the original and newly built Buddhist temples on Bai Ding Mountain, nearly 200 meters above sea level. Also on February 13th, Chùa Hương or Perfume Pagoda Festival officially commenced in Mỹ Đức district of Hanoi. As many as 50,000 visitors nationwide flocked to the festival on the opening day, bringing the total number over the past 4 days to 200,000. The annual festival will run through the end of the third Lunar New Year and is the largest of its kind in the country. The same day, the Cổ Loa Festival opens in Đông Anh district of Hanoi. The festival is organized annually to commemorate King An Dương Vương Thục Phán, who founded the state of Âu Lạc and built Cổ Loa Citadel. It will run until the 15 days of the first Lunar New Year. Selecting high-quality foreign direct investment or FDI projects is essential to the country's economic growth, since they have been generating jobs for millions of workers. More in the following report.
According to the Foreign Investment Agency, FDI enterprises have played a crucial role in the Vietnamese economy as they create jobs for nearly 3 million workers and make up over 20% of the country's total investment capital. FDI firms active in Bắc Ninh and Bình Dương provinces and Ho Chi Minh City are significant contributors to Vietnam's GDP. Statistics from the agency show that Vietnam drew $22.76 billion in newly registered and additional capital in 2015, up 12.5% against 2014. Foreign businesses are pumping investment into 19 sectors. The processing and manufacturing sector alone attracted $15.23 billion last year, accounting for 66.9% of the total registered investment. 62 countries and territories are running investment projects in Vietnam. The Republic of Korea leads with 702 newly registered projects and 269 with additional capital totaling $6.72 billion, making up 29.6% of the total investment capital in Vietnam. Malaysia and Japan are in second and third places with $2.47 billion and $1.84 billion respectively, accounting for 10.9% and 8.1% of the total investment capital in Vietnam. The foreign investment sector also recorded $115.1 billion in export turnover last year, an annual increase of 13.8%, making up 70.9% of Vietnam's total export turnover. Experts said Vietnam has favorable conditions to become a strategic investment destination for both multinational groups and small and medium-sized enterprises, as the country is a partner of 55 global economies in free trade agreements, with over 90% of tariff lines having been cut to 0%.
The Trans-Pacific Partnership, a trade agreement between 12 Pacific Rim countries, including Vietnam, is a unique deal seen as a landmark in global trade and investment cooperation. The pact is expected to create a momentum for Vietnam's economy, while also posing considerable challenges. We have further details in the following report.
Once ratified, the TPP will enable Vietnam's real GDP to grow 1 to 2%, making it one of the highest economic growth rates of a TPP member economy. In the long run, the trade deal would shift production activities of some industries that are not competitive in Vietnam to other TPP countries which can take advantage of having a cheaper labor force.
TPP is a new generation deal with various commitments that are advantageous to business communities. Vietnamese enterprises in particular could have a chance to penetrate into new markets and improve their existing performance.
The Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement has entered its final stage of legal checks before it will be signed up by the 12 member countries. The members will have 2 years following the signing to adopt the trade deal in conformity with their own laws.
TPP is a trade deal requiring high criteria with the signatories' commitments to opening their markets. Notably, Vietnam's major trade partners have also joined the pact, and these economies will drop tariffs to 0%, which is very advantageous to Vietnamese products.
But how to tap the opportunities remains a problem. For instance, Vietnam's garment and textile sectors must satisfy regulations regarding the origin of products if it wants to enjoy tariff incentives offered by the TPP economies.
We set a target of raising the sector's localization rate to 65% by 2020. Especially when both TPP and the European-Vietnam Free Trade Agreement take effect in 2018. The sector must ensure a 60% self-sufficiency of materials to meet the requirements of these deals.
Despite opportunities, joining the TPP also brings a chance for Vietnam to speed up the restructuring of its economy and change its growth model.
The most important task is to combine Vietnam's integration with its reform, especially realizing TPP commitments. Generally, commitments and demanding trade deals such as TPP and the Europe-Vietnam Free Trade Agreement are consistent with how Vietnam has been accelerating its economic restructuring.
After 5 years of negotiations, 12 countries involved in the TPP have reached historical arrangements on reducing tariffs levied on numerous products. The deal will create a free trade zone accounting for 40% of the world economy and 30% of the global trade. It was forecast to annually add $300 billion to the global GDP.
Hoi An ancient town, known for its tranquility and beautiful scenery, will now also be famous for its water puppetry performances, and the town is producing the culture art as the new tourism product.
Since 2014, the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism has supported a water puppetry program in the ancient town of Hoi An to satisfy its tourism demands. After a trial period, visitors can now fully enjoy the art every weekend. The sound of chao, classical opera, resonates beautifully with the instrumental music, giving tourists a closer view into the traditional art of water puppetry. In order to conduct high-quality performances, the city is investing in set design, high-tech sound and lighting system. Each puppet is carefully crafted, colored and polished, while their masters are trained professionally to draw audience attention. The successful first step of introducing water puppetry as a tourism product is aiding the promotion of unique cultural values of Vietnam.
The southern largest economic hub of Ho Chi Minh City has set a target of welcoming 5.1 million foreign visitors and 21.8 million domestic holidaymakers this year. earning 103 trillion dong, nearly $4.8 billion in total revenue.
The sector will also promote the image of Ho Chi Minh City as a friendly, attractive and safe destination. To achieve these targets, it will focus on improving the quality of tourism products and services and develop waterway tourism. Efforts should be exerted to step up tourism promotion programs as well as further ensure public order, with the view of enhancing the attractiveness of the city in the eyes of tourists. Last year, the city received 4.6 million foreign visitors and 19.3 million domestic tourists, up 4.6% and 13% year-on-year, respectively. Tourism earnings reached 94.6 trillion dong, about over $4.1 billion, a year-on-year increase of 10%.
Many schools in Ho Chi Minh City are implementing a clean vegetable plantation model as a curriculum to teach their pupils a valuable life skill and the value of hard work. If all goes well, the schools also plan to add these freshly ground veggies to the people's daily meals.
This is Nguyen Van Troi Primary School's vegetables garden, spanning over 200 square meters. This pretty green garden is tended to daily by the school's little farmers and their delicate touch. Nearly 300 buckets of seed vegetables have been planted, fully equipped with an irrigation system. They are planted systematically to enjoy the most amount of sunlight. This is an upgraded version of an organic vegetable farm model used by many other schools in the Southern Economic Hub.
Since we first started, both teachers and students have shown great enthusiasm with the project. It also helps the students with many classes, such as biology, since they will be able to experience nature firsthand.
Each class has a designated zone of the garden. During recess in the morning or the afternoon, 2 students from their respective classes will come to tend to their garden. From turning over soil to watering the plants, such simple tasks seem to capture the youngsters' undivided attention as they gleefully enjoy the work distanced from a life in the city. I learn a lot when tending to the gardens, like planting seeds and watering the plants. I really like it, since I don't usually get to do these things. I feel like a farmer in the big city. I really like growing veggies. I'd never done anything like this before. Not only is this little project bringing joy to the little peoples, the veggie model is introducing a life skill, helping them appreciate the value of labor and teaching them to love nature. As an added bonus, the peoples also get to eat the veggies that they helped grow.
In the near future, we will diversify the type of vegetables to give the kids more varied meals.
Soon the school will expand the garden and diversify it by installing trellises to plant wild gourds and squashes. Moreover, these vegetables will be sold and its revenue directed to a charity fund for fellow disadvantaged peoples.
And that has wrapped up our daily bulletin. Thank you for tuning in and goodbye from Hanoi.